Okay. Mr. Scarpetti, councilors, thank you for this opportunity for letting me speak to you this evening about the error in the current parking bylaw for worship properties that was used when approving the site plan for the property at Williamson 16. This isn't the first time I have expressed my concerns to you, as I have written a number of letters to you all since the day I moved into my home in 2006. Who am I? I am probably the number one person in this room that will be the most affected by the approval that you all approved for this mosque. The only thing that separates me from this massive new structure is my backyard fence. I live on Maple Ridge Crescent. My neighbor also asked me to speak to her. She may have called a few of you councils today, Mrs. Lee. When I purchased the home in late 2006, I was informed by my neighbors what was planned on the open space behind our houses. I then immediately contacted Mr. Webster and the town to get the facts. I was told that nothing had been approved until then, and things could change. At this time, no plans were submitted, and I accepted the fact that a religious building could possibly happen one day, but seeing the size of the property, I wasn't too worried, thinking that a building would be in proportion to the plot size. Boy, was I wrong. So let me tell you how your approval of this project with insufficient free space, insufficient parking, based on the present incorrect bylaw and the soon-to-be new bylaw, and constantly changing occupancy figures is going to affect me, my family, our street, and our neighborhood. In spring of 2010, the property owners came to do a big cleanup with tractors and lots of people. During the day, they decided to move the rusty old unsafe trailer that was sitting there for years and years right behind mine and two other neighbors' fences. This caused my whole main floor to become in darkness during the day. The same affected my neighbors' homes as well. We complained to Mr. Webster, who worked on having the trailer removed away from our fences, and this took weeks to do. I was told and then saw on their website that they were planning a groundbreaking ceremony, and then it showed pictures and facts and figures on what was planned there. It was startling to us all who lived there. They are planning to build 25 to 30,000 size structure. I'm not talking about worship space here, everybody. I'm talking about the size of that building on a small piece of land, plus a 15-story minaret. I'd also stated that the membership would be 1,600 worshipers that eventually would be using that building various times a day. It clearly showed, even in our own drawings, that there was not enough parking spaces for this. Groundbreaking was done on Sunday, June 20th, 2010, on Father's Day. They not only filled up Brother Andre's parking lots, but also our whole street and many others in the area, causing all not to be able to park on our own roads or have company that day. This was clearly showed us all this is always going to be a problem. How can you all justify approving this with so many outstanding issues? How can you all justify approving this when so many residents like me have been in contact with you well before approving this and clearly telling you the serious issues? We are the ones that will have to continually put up with this and are affected, yet we are getting ignored and cast aside instead of showing preference to this religious group. I have the letters and responses from Councillor Landon and from Council Heath, and as well as Mr. Campbell, both before and after he was elected. Mr. Campbell, you went so far as to tell me, and I quote, "This building is way too big for a residential area." You also stated, not just to me, but to others who wrote you as well, and I quote once again that, "It seems to have somehow received planning permission, probably a case of bending to special interest groups. Specific minimum numbers of parking spaces are required for the size, occupancy, and numbers for any structure, and this one certainly does not meet the requirement." You, Mr. Campbell, said you would work on getting this relocated upon getting elected, and that you'd work for us and not for developers. That is what you said before you were elected. Of course, when you got elected, you completely did a 180 turn of this, which was clear at the meeting that Mr. Malik held for a small, by invitation only group of residents. You then proceeded to tell all council that all was well with the residents and everyone's on board. I am 100% sure if all of you were sitting there had known the true facts, and that of all the residents' concerns and letters for years and years, and had talked to us, that this would never have been approved by majority. I need you to reconsider this, to turn this around to help us, the long-term residents, and this street that is going to be affected. It is clear that this is never going to have enough parking on this site ever. I want you all to find a way to fix this whole mess that it should never have been approved in the first place. And I want you to know this too, by thinking you can erect a living wall will cause our homes to be in darkness, let alone a mega-sized building which will cast shadows on our home. No one, not one of you, have thought of us that live here. What is going to happen to us in our homes, in our neighborhood, with the noise and the lighting issues, the pollution from gas fumes?
Thank you, Brenda.
One more minute.
Well, you said 1 moment.
And parking.
10 minutes.
I have.
10 seconds ago. We're done.
We're not going to be able to open our back windows because of the gas fumes and the cars and the noise. I have one paragraph.
Brenda, you can leave it. You can leave a copy with us.
I do
It
have a
sounds like
copy.
you're talking about a specific site.
Let her finish. Let her finish.
We want to hear it. We want to hear it. Come on, give us a chance.
This has to stop.
There has not been one single legitimate study done to protect us. The trees, the animals, the pond, the air, our health, the daylight in our homes, the traffic and the parking. And why have you not done all this for us and that live on the street, in the neighborhood? Day and night, we're going to have to live with this. I'm really, really worried about my health, but it's proved in the past. There's not enough parking, even when they have their own events already. So,
Thank you.
I will make sure.